A Yakuza princess is engaged to a rival clan's heir, but his charming smile hides a deranged personality that she must outmaneuver and outwit in this very interesting manga. What am I talking about? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to the 575th episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zen, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast that you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And more importantly, if you are watching us on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification to get the latest on the newest episodes up and to see the polls for some of the greatest things out. Now, before we go any further, remember we are doing a GoFundMe right now. You want to find out more about that, you can watch our video, which is on our YouTube channel. Check the links down below, or you can scan this QR code or go to tinyurl.com/Spiraken to find out more about that GoFundMe we have going on right now. We'd like to thank our producer, Alexander H., and an anonymous donor for doing an awesome job right now because they've been kicking butt, taking names, and just being pretty awesome. So with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one that only the wheel of manga. And Nick Dick will be reviewing a manga that is a seinen series, but it is very different. What are we talking about? We're talking about Yakuza Fiancè, or translated simply into Reise wa Tanin ga I. And this is a manga that is known for a lot of different things. It is known as a romance, a Yakuza story, and more importantly than that, it is one which is just completely batshit crazy in its concept. And what is this manga about? Well, it is a story of a young girl named Yoshino Some, and she's pretty much just found some very interesting information in the newspaper. And what is this information? Well, it turns out that her grandfather has decided to engage her against her will, because her grandfather, Renji Soma, is the current head of the Soma house, which is a Yakuza clan set in Osaka. And he's decided to make peace with someone who is his contemporary. We're talking about Miyashima Gaku, who is the head of the Kansai/Tokyo Miyama clan, which is a fifth-generation house from the Tokusai household. Long story short, using an example, her clan is a newer clan. The other clan is a older clan, and they've been feuding for 60 years, and they figured, we're going to make peace. How are we going to do this? We're going to engage our two kids together, and that's going to happen. And she's kind of horrified by this, because she has to go to Tokyo, meet a guy she's never met before, who her grandpa is saying is really handsome, really cool, and it's going to be great because you're going to find someone who you're going to fall in love with, and his name is Kirishima Miyama, and it's going to be wonderful. But is this going to work out? Well, she doesn't know, because she's never met this guy before. She's never dated anybody. Everyone's pretty much afraid of her because she's a Yakuza daughter. So she doesn't know what to do. So after a month, she ends up going to Tokyo, and she ends up going to the household of the Miyama clan. And it turns out that the Miyamas are, like I said, they're very old school. They've been around a long time. They're very wealthy. They have a lot of advanced tech, and they're very traditional. And the head of the household, Gaku Miyama, is very handsome. He's wise. And one of the people who is her quote-unquote bodyguard, she doesn't realize, is actually her now quote-unquote fiancé. We're talking about Kirishima. And he's a tall, handsome guy who's pretty polite to her. He was faking wearing glasses, and when she meets him, he's nice, he's sweet. He brings her to where she's going to be staying if she decides to stay to talk with him and essentially court each other. She's going to be living on the property in a renovated tea house that they've set for her specific specifications, and he seems really, really awesome. He's polite, he's sweet, he's thoughtful. This should be great. So she's like, oh, maybe I will see where this goes. Because he's like, well, I didn't even think you were going to show up, and the fact that you showed up makes me interested. And she decides to go to Tokyo, spend some time there, and learn to meet this guy. She's going to spend a year living with this individual and getting to know him to the best of her abilities. And they're going to be going to the same school, which should be great. And when she gets there, people are kind of saying, oh, he's so handsome, he's so wonderful. Turns out the entire school knows that he's Yakuza, or he's related to Yakuza, so they're all enamored with him. And she comes in, and she's this pretty girl that's talking to him, and they're wondering, who are you? Are you dating him? Are you with him? And she can't really answer because it's kind of a weird situation. And this leads to people thinking maybe she's a girl that was picked up by the Miyama clan and she's going to be sold by them. Or maybe she's his mistress. They don't really know. She's a bumpkin from Osaka who speaks perfect Japanese, very traditional Japanese, doesn't use the Osaka inflections, which honestly Kirishima finds odd because she's speaking so normally, but she wanted to sound normal, professional, wonderful. And she's kind of hiding her personality to be the best she can be. And she's discovering people are thinking bad about her, but this guy is still in her peripheral. Kirishima's being so polite, so wonderful. But then one night, she notices he's kind of a brutal monster who's not really showing his side. She sees this side of him that's different. She's wondering what's going on. Why is he acting like he's different when he's not with her? But when she's with him, he's polite, he's considerate. But long story short, an incident occurs where she almost gets kidnapped by a couple of guys, and Kirishima shows his true colors. He is a straight up monster. He is a very short-tempered, angry Yakuza guy who is psychotic. He ends up, because they dare touch her, he bashes a guy's face into a wall and then proceeds to almost kill all the other guys until she tells him to stop and says, listen, this is my woman. You touch her and tell your friends to stay away from her, or else I'm going to come after you and your family. And she's a little bit turned off by this and kind of horrified because she says, the cops are going to call and, well, we'll take care of this, because she is a Yakuza princess. She is someone who was raised in the Yakuza, but she wants to stay on the DL and she's trying to give a good impression still. And then when he goes to touch her, she rebuffs him and he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. You're boring. I thought you were going to be this wonderful, amazing, crazy psychopath like me who'd want to ruin my life. And, someone who has no friends and is horrible. And frankly, you're boring. We're not going to work well together. So you know what? How about this? Since you're going to be here a year, how about I set you up with one of our brothels? You'll make some money. It'll be great. And she's a bit taken aback, like, this guy's showing his true colors and he's a piece of shit. He's a truly egregious person who just essentially is manipulating her and doesn't take consideration for her. And she's just done with this. She's like, really? This is what he thinks of me? And she's alone. She doesn't know what to do. And then when she gets to school the next day, because she hasn't seen him, she's getting bullied by the girls who like Kirishima. And she's done. She wants to go home. And she's thinking about it, debating about it, crying a little bit. And her grandpa calls her, hey, how you doing, kiddo? And she's like, I'm fine. And he's like, no. What's going on? I can hear it in your voice. And so he says, so the kid's screwing around with you? You know what? You're not coming home. You're going to stick it out for a year. And what you're going to do is you're going to make him fall madly in love with you. And then the minute he falls in love with you after the year, you're going to kick his ass to the curb without a word and come home. And that's what you're going to do, because that's the way to get back at him. So Yoshino's like, you know what? Fine. Let's do this. And she immediately just lets the quote-unquote calm, nice girl go away. 2 weeks later, she comes back to school because she hasn't talked to him. He didn't even give a shit that she was gone. Goes to his class and says, hey, how you doing? So I listened to what you said, and I think you're right. You wanted me to sell my body for brothels, but you know what? I did. I sold my body. And she drops a bag full of yen and says, I sold one of my kidneys for 4 million yen. And you know what? Whatever you do, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction, you masochistic piece of crap. You're not going to make me quit. I'm going to stay. And more importantly than that, to all you little skanks out there who are being mean to me, You can do whatever you want with me, and I may be a nice person. I may be sweet. I may be a goody two shoes until the day I die crawling in the mud. But if that shit ain't good enough for yous, then you could all tear me apart, and I'll drag you down to hell with me. I will ruin your life. And when Kirishima sees the girl he thought was just a normal, regular, boring girl flip to her more realistic personality, the Yakuza personality, he is smitten. He is in love. And he's like, oh my God, I love you. Ruined my life. Be here. You're perfect. And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, but I've never felt like this before. It's got to be love. It has to be. It's like he's like, it has to be love. I've never been so thrilled before. I got shivers down my spine. Let's get married. Let's do this. And this begins this insane courtship because she's horrified by this guy, and he is super stupid, like in love with her, and she doesn't know what to do. She's like, and this begins this insanity where he is trying to show that he loves her in a very really screwed up way. Like he's like straight up like, yeah, I kidnapped this guy because he was just being a jerk to you, but you know what? You'll like it anyway. And she's like, get the hell away from me. Stop watching me when I sleep. And he's like, oh, but I'm the only person who's gonna love you the way you are. And it's kind of Stockholm syndrome me, but more importantly, they're both getting at each other one way to another. It's an even keel of they're both equally screwed up in certain ways, but he's hiding his way to do this, if this makes sense. And the story is engaging, intriguing, and more importantly, it's one of these stories that just draws you in because you want to see Yoshino do good. You want to see her get back at this piece of shit that he is a piece of shit at first, but he does have his good qualities because he does care about her and he's willing to do a lot of stuff for her. But he straight up is like, yeah, I'm cheating on you with other women. And she's like, okay, whatever. He's like, wait, you're not mad you cheating? Wait, but you're supposed to be mad. You know what? I'll make it so that you'll get mad when I'm cheating on you, and then I know you love me because I know you love me. And she's like, no, I don't give two craps about you. But it's this weird dynamic, which is a really cool element to it. Is this story is engaging, and also Yoshina is a fully developed character. Miyama's a fully developed character. We have tons of side characters who all have their reasons. You have his subordinates, his grandfather, her grandfather. You have this guy who shows up who is kind of a love interest, kind of a bodyguard. It's a whole thing. But this is their dynamic, and this is the story of these two clans trying to get together, and both of them just playing the ball in this really screwed up way. Now, besides the story and the characters, the artwork it's okay. It is very perfect CG. It is very CG'd. You could tell it's computer generated, which is the norm nowadays, but there's some which it looks a little too perfect. And there's no imperfections, which makes it look a little off, I gotta say. Like her body design, his body design, the way that their nose are drawn are kind of perplexing at times, but you have some great shots. Like the moment that she threatens her classmates and him saying, I'm going to ruin your life if you try to screw with me or take me down. That scene looks so great, and Yoshino just captures the rage and insanity. And then when he says he loves her, that weird look in his eyes, you're like, okay, this guy's fucking nuts. Stay away from him. That works. So the art is not terrible. The pacing is slow. Now, in most series, that setup would be one chapter. In this manga, it is 2 chapters, and the manga is 3 chapters long for an entire tankobon. So it is slow going. It builds it up quick, and there's a lot of dead space where you could trim and cut. There's an anime adaptation that I watched afterwards to compare, and they cut out a lot of the exposition to make it go faster, because otherwise this would take a long time to get through. And the exposition is important, but it does take a little bit of time to spin its wheels. The quality is great for 7Cs. It looks good. It is wrapped in plastic because there's cursing, but again, regardless, well done. It's well preserved and looks good. So After debating for a little bit, I was going back and forth. I'm going to have to give this manga, Yakuza Fiancè Reisewa Tanin Ga Ill. Bought from a friend and don't return unless offered Pocky. It does a unique spin on the arranged marriage trope, which is typically the he doesn't know her, she doesn't know him. Let's see them work it out. This is she doesn't know him, he doesn't know her, but he's psychotic. He makes her think that she likes him, and then when he plays her, she plays him back, and then suddenly he's now in love with her. I do like that spin on it. It is something a little bit intriguing. Also, there is a twist that comes on later, which you don't see coming. The first one is, of course, him revealing his true self, but there's more twists coming later on. The art style, like I said, is too computer generated. It's too perfect, in my opinion, which isn't a bad thing, but it is a little jarring. And the narrative, like I said, it's slow paced, but it is worth checking out. And Bar Friend is our second highest rating. It is really good. It's worth checking out. I don't think it's worth owning, but it is worth checking out and going further to read this and check it out. Now, if you've read this and you agree with me, you can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. And let's get to our random question of the week, which is going to be, are you the crazy one, or did you date the crazy one in a relationship? Are you the one who's nuts, or is it that they're the crazy person? What do you know? And what do you think? Let me know. Email me zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken, or tweet or Bluesky me at Spiraken. And, well, with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga release of the week. We've got some fun ones, some dark ones, and more importantly, some that are just a little, yeah. So let's get to it. So manga releases for the week, we've got After God, Volume 2. After School Etude, Volume 2. Ayakashi Triangle, Volume 13. Beetle Hands, Volume 2. Cat on the Hero's Lap, Volume 4. Diary of a Female Lead, Volume 2. Dingha Fusheng Records, the novel, Volume 2. Free Life Fantasy Immortal Princess Online, Volume 8 of the light novel. Free Life Fantasy Online, The Immortal Princess, the manga, Volume 9. How My Daddies Became Mates, Volume 2. I abandoned my engagement because my sister is a tragic heroine, but somehow I became entangled with a righteous prince, the novel, Volume 2. Inside the Tentacle Cave, Volume 4 of the manga. The Lady Knight and the Beast-Eared Child, Volume 2. Monster Marriage Shop, Volume 2. My Kitty is a Picky Eater, Volume 2. Only I Know the World is Ending and Getting Killed by Rampaging Beasts Only Makes Me Stronger, Volume 1. Record of Ragnarok, Volume 13. Red River, Omnibus 2, which is Volumes 4, 5, and 6. Roll Over and Die, I Will Fight for an Ordinary Life with My Love and Cursed Sword, the manga, Volume 6. Run Wild Say, Wusei, which is a novel, the first regular edition, Volume 1. And then there is a special edition, which is being released specifically by Barnes & Nobles and on Amazon. And this special edition is going to come with 3 Polaroids, a lined notebook, a sticker sheet, a bookmark, and all with a special edition guest artwork for this series. And it looks like it is a lot of fun. She professed herself Pupil of the Wise Man, the novel, Volume 12. Snowball Earth, Volume 4. Steel of the Celestial Shadow, Volume 5. Tokyo Alien Bros, Volume 1. Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, Volume 11 of the manga. Trillion Game, Volume 3. Undead Unluck, Volume 18. And actually, that series ends next week, so we're going to see how it all ends. The Special Edition Vagabond, Volume 1. This is a hardcover. It looks exceptional. Yadare Dark Elf, She Chased Me All the Way from Another World, Volume 2. And last and certainly not least, we've got Yokai Cats, Volume 9. So these are the mangas that were released this week. Which one were you most excited about? Let me know. Email me zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And for me personally, my top of the week are going to be, well, Vagabond Volume 1, because this is an exceptional release for such an amazing series. Tokyo Alien Bros Volume 1. This series has been on my radar for a little bit, but the release looks really fun. Run Wild, the novel, well, that special edition just sold it. My Kitten is a Picky Eater Volume 2. The first one was enjoyable. The second one looks equally good. And A Cat from Our World, that manga is such a weird manga and so fun because The Witch is great. Volume 4 is worth checking out. So which ones are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me zanspiker.com or Bluesky me at Spiraken. And with that in mind, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new view, it gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. And I love doing this. I want to keep doing this to an old man who's reading manga with thick glasses and very large manga. And 575 episodes, can you believe it? I've talked about 575 mangas at least. I know I've done more because there's been several episodes where we've done multiple manga. And each one has inspired me and made me interested. Even the ones I hated, it's taught me so much. And thank you for being on this ride for me. So we're not done. We're not giving up. For those of you who are unaware, as I said earlier, we have the GoFundMe going on. The reason for that is our laptop, which I use for editing and also for some other elements of the podcast, including for when I go to conventions, has a issue with its motherboard. We're trying to replace it. Anything you could help out with, we'd appreciate it greatly. I am aware that for some reason the basic donate before you can choose your own is high. The reason for that is we've had 2 donors who donated a little bit of money. Our first one is our producer, who I want to thank. That is Alexander H. He donated $100 and started this off crazy. So for that reason, we do have, it's pretty high. Our second donor, who will remain anonymous, I want to thank you so much. We have a couple of really fun things that will be coming out soon for you. If you donate, feel free to. But that one is, how much was that? That one was, a certain amount of money. But thank you so much for that. And if you want to donate, like I said, all you got to do is go to tinyurl.com/Spiraken, and it'll give you all the information you need. There are 6 tiers, and each one does something different. If you want to just donate $1, that's a thank you. All the way up to, like you did, like Alexander, $100, where you get a producer credit for several episodes. You get a bunch of other elements, and you're able to choose the manga for me to review in an upcoming episode. Also, at $25, that is the one which the anonymous donor, who, again, thank you very much, chose, and he gets to choose a manga for the future, which I'm going to review. Email me, let me know what's going on. And more importantly than that, now if that's done, let's actually get to it, because I'm excited to see what manga I'm going to review next, because we have tons of great stuff to talk about. So with that in mind, let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is the one we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 576. So let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode, shall we? Number 8, Windbreakers. So this is a manga which I think people have been talking about. It's the one which the anime was really popular last season. I haven't watched it, but apparently it's really good. Is it going to be good? Well, we're going to find out in the next episode. But as usual, hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.